Speaking of dating, I have a question, and it's probably going to be very very funny, but I really want to know.
Okay.
So I heard that your celebrity crush was Biggie Smalls. Is that
Oh
true?
my god. Oh my gosh, did
I
you
wanna-
just see like when you just said that? It's like Christopher, I love him. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Deep, but that was just oh girl, you just took my breath away. Yeah. I love him so much. I do.
So it's true.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I
would've
was
thought
like
that
on that pursuit. Like for real.
for Biggie Smalls.
Oh gosh, yes. My heart. I'm sorry. My heart.
Everybody, welcome to the Healing Exchange podcast. I have a very, 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 very special guest, and I want to get the logistics out of the way because I'm very, very nervous. Add me on Instagram, healing_exchange, and then you can add my Facebook. That's just Jacquilla McFarley. I put it on the screen, and then you can add me on TikTok at JaquillaMC, and please subscribe to the channel and like this video and share it. You'll see the subscribe button on there. So yeah, I want to give a very special introduction. Now, I grew up in church, so I was going to be deep, but I'm not. I'm going to speak from my heart of someone that's here on my couch in my mansion. And
I love it.
it's my
I'm
mansion.
here for it.
five
I'm here.
bedrooms,
I'm
three
here
bathrooms.
for these palatial ceilings. I'm
Yes.
here for it.
So, very special guest. Everybody, you may know her as Pastor Kristi, Coach Kristi, Trigger K. That's who I met first, or just simply Kristi, and that's who I want to introduce. Just simply Kristi, elegant. You have this. I don't want to use the word sexy because that's gonna make the saints angry, but you have this.
It's okay to let them make the saints. It's okay for us as Christians, those of us who love God, to desire to be that. Like I told my husband, I want to be sexy to him. So if you describe that as us as women, we need to learn how to embrace that. Sexy isn't a bad word.
We already started. We already started. So anyway, without further ado, Coach Kristi. Now, this is the Healing Exchange. So I'm sitting in the seat. I want to get healing. I exchange healing with my audience.
Love it.
Sometimes they send me stuff after I say something, and it helps me. Sometimes I'm sitting here and talking about just getting naked, talking about something, and I get free right here in this moment. So it's a healing exchange. So you helping me too.
I love it. I love it.
I'm a part of the audience, and I'm
Me
ready
too. Me too. We all healing every day.
Every day. So I want to talk about, you always say, to thine own self be true. And I realized, I want to ask first, do you think that that's your life's motto? I know it's not like your purpose, but do you think that you live by that quote in every area of your life?
I think I grew into it. It's William Shakespeare's quote, but embracing it, I remember reading it, and it wasn't in the parameters of William Shakespeare, but it hit me, and it was so profound, like, to thine own self be true. And then it hit me, who are you when nobody's looking? Who are you when no one can hear your thoughts? What are you saying? And so the more I learned, I found I was holding myself accountable. I had no clue as to what that was, but I knew that I wanted to be better. I can't explain to you, but I think it is a part of my purpose, because that's why I don't declare myself as a life coach, more so of a you coach, because regardless of any situation, what is God trying to teach you? So for me, it's like, to thine own self be true is who you desire to be when the curtains are closed, when the doors are closed, when the lights are off. Who are you? And be true to that. Own that.
So what does that look like, though? Because I get a lot of questions, because I'm taking my audience on a journey Apostle, we abstaining, we celibate.
Okay.
We're trying to get to know ourselves.
Love it.
Especially singles. We're trying to do it. I don't want to say the right way because it's not a right way for everybody. Everybody has a different journey, but
absolutely
the purest way. So to say, hey, just be yourself, it's not just always black and white. So where did it start from?
Well, that journey of self, that's why I really love India Ari. I did not really, there was no gospel program that I saw or an album that I'm like laid out in the spirit
right.
Finding myself. It was Journey to India, and it blessed me so much because, and it became therapeutic. And that journey, the way that she shared through song, it ministered to me. I was in probably a broken season of being a young adult, 30-something, really searching for answers in God, people, and I said it was through God. And so when you have people hurt, relationship hurt, all of that goes into one basket. And, you got to learn how to compartmentalize life. Because if not, it'll be one big smorgasbord of hurt. And I didn't want that. I knew that wasn't God's design for me. Because if God is love, then why am I afraid of it? If God is love, then why do I shun it? Why am I afraid of relationships? Why am I afraid of people? So I had to learn how to sit in my own truth. Being an only child, going through emotional and verbal abuse, going through the trauma that went through that. And until you can sit in your life's story, your life's realness, your life's truth, then it's hard to embrace your journey because so many people are afraid of it.
When did you start sitting in it?
When I was tired of smelling my own
fish.
All of that. Like, you should get tired of you. Get tired of everybody saying the same thing. You get tired of if you're dating a guy and it's like, oh, Kristi, you're so, like, the first guy is like, oh, middle finger. The next guy is like, okay, well, do they know each other? And then if it's somebody else, it's like, okay, I'm the common denominator.
Right.
And that's when you want to be better, there'll be times that you're triggered, but then why did this affect me like that? Why am I afraid to say that I'm hurt? Why am I afraid to acknowledge that I'm angry? What's my why?
Wow. Speaking of dating, I have a question, and it's probably going to be very, very funny, but I really want to know.
Okay. So
I heard that your celebrity crush was Biggie Smalls. Is that true?
Oh my God. Oh my God, did you just see like when you just said that? It's like, Christopher, I love him. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Deep, but that was just, oh girl, you just took my breath away. Yeah. I love him so much. I do.
So it's true?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I was like on that pursuit. Like, for real.
For Biggie Smalls.
Oh gosh. Yes. My heart. I'm sorry. My heart. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Soon come. Yes. Okay. Yes. Why would you not? Why? I just look like this because it is just, people really do not believing that. But
I said I need to hear it from her myself. I'm sorry.
Why wouldn't you believe it?
You just
because
don't.
We're looking at Apostle and then we're looking at.
See,
it's
that's
like black and white.
But that's it. But remember, Apostle, before he was baby Jesus, he was baby Thug.
Oh yeah.
Is that when you met him?
Baby Thug.
You met Baby Thug.
Yes, with the
college?
gold yes. He had two gold things on the side. And it's those, but he was like the first black guy.
Wow.
Thug guy.
That you.
Oh gosh. And I was like, that's
the.
I go with him.
Wow.
That's why I hate when people say like we go together. Like Oh gosh.
bad.
Yes. But yeah, that he
I
was.
have a question. I'm sorry.
Yes, please.
Sure, ask your questions.
Real quick.
Okay.
This right here.
Okay.
I got
I
so
love
distracted.
it.
Sorry.
So I'm distracted. Because, okay, so you met him in college, and this actually ties all into thine own self be true. Your journey from Thug Jerry, PC,
yes,
to you becoming a cosmetologist,
yes,
and then becoming a pastor's wife, then apostle wife, and having children to raise. What was that journey like?
that was.
Oh, we gonna get into that.
Okay.
We still good.
Oh,
no, okay. Oh, we gotta go that. We gotta go slow.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Momentum. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
That was good.
Okay. First, now, who?
Okay, because it's getting juicy.
Yeah. Jesus.
Okay.
Who is Kristi without telling me what she does? Now.
Who is Kristi? Kristi is confident. Kristi is quirky. Kristi is not easily embarrassed. Kristi is kind. Kristi is courteous. Kristi is considerate. Kristi is ambivalent in some ways. Kristi is courageously afraid sometimes. Like, I know that should do something, and I know that once I do it, I'm doing it, but I can procrastinate. Kristi sometimes second guesses herself because she's been so creatively different all of her life that until she learned how to embrace the difference, sometimes that comes back, So Kristi is just this creature that God created, and is only one of me. And I'm just learning to embrace her day by day. So I'm really learning more of her, because we always try to say that we're like rediscovery and no, I really was discovering Kristi. So even being this Kristi at this age, 10-year-old Kristi is not 20-year-old Kristi. And 20-year-old Kristi can't relate to 30-year-old Kristi. And 50-year-old Kristi, I don't even know who they are. You know? So yeah.
So, okay.
Did that answer who is Kristi?
It did. Very well.
Okay.
Very well. That helps me to answer that question for myself.
Okay.
So, I want to, Delray Beach, only child. I was raised as an only child by my grandparents. So, as a child, what were, just in a nutshell, what were some of the things that affected you? Like, maybe like some traumas? You mentioned verbal and physical abuse from your parents.
That was later. And not parents, it was a stepfather.
Okay.
So me growing up, I did not experience like what I thought were hiccups or hindrances or trauma, things that would then add to my testimony. I was just the product of a 18-year-old girl who got pregnant her senior year in high school. My dad was already in college. They were high school sweethearts, whatever. And then my grandparents made my mom go to college. So 6 months, I'm raised by the village. So I had a beautiful childhood. Although I knew I was an only child, I didn't know that like sibling rivalry. I had cousin siblings, if that makes sense. So them picking on me, I didn't take that as bullying. It was love, Okay. So I didn't really feel trauma that I can now recollect until I became like a preteen. And the love that my stepfather had, he just gave what he had, and it was what he had.
Can I ask, what was that like as a preteen?
At first, like, it was when my mom first met him, I was a child, like, oh my God, like these fantasies and books that I read, and now I'm gonna have a family. So I was really excited until it was like, every man is not like my granddaddy or my daddy, and then the way he does things or doesn't do things, it's like you start learning this don't feel something. So, and then just over time, the way that my mom always allowed me to ask questions, just being an intellect, it was totally opposite of what he was used to. So to him, I was a disrespectful child, which then made me act out. Like, okay, disrespect, I'm gonna show you disrespect, you know. And even though I didn't know how to be, I'm still not confrontational. Like, I had to take self-defense classes to learn how to fight. I didn't stick up for myself, honestly.
Physically fight?
Yeah, like I was the sibling cousins who, like, remember when we were younger and had dance contests, and you like go dance against your cousins, and you know Jacquilla won. It was never Kristi, never, because I was so goofy. So I was always bigger than everybody my age, and I still trip over myself. So had I not taken ballet lessons, and I learned how to dance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pirouette, like that. So when we had dance contests, they was popping, and I'm like,
they were twerking.
1, 2, 3. So I always got picked at, and that just
Okay, it's making sense.
So I wouldn't think that you wasn't. Maybe I'm mistaking confrontation for your confidence.
Okay, because
that's what
that goes on the journey.
Right. So okay.
Okay.
You had a abusive you growing up as a teenager. Now, Kristi, now she's a adult. She's in college, and who was she?
Well, going to high school, because I left private school, and now I'm going to high school. So
Public?
which would answer a lot of questions with people like me being ratchet bougie or hood bougie, like
I saw that.
Beyonce. You get it's like that part, like, because I'm in the hood where I live, CP, Carver Park, Delray Beach. Okay. But I'm going to school across town to St. Joseph's. So I literally live 2 worlds, 2 lives. Not on purpose, I'm a kid, but educationally and then culturally, it was totally different. So I was exposed to barefoot water skiing on the weekends, and then Kojic Sunday all day church. So it was.
You had.
I think it was like the best of both worlds, kind of, sort of.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, it's like being exposed to, and that's why I love diversity. I love difference.
Yeah,
I do.
You really do.
I do. I don't like boxed up. I don't like perfection. I don't like titles. I don't like be you. Like, and I think that journey of me not being confident, I didn't have siblings to lean on or learn from, not sharing, or sibling rivalry, or just the things that you should to learn how to stick up for yourself. So once I learned that I'm an adult and I started being financially independent, doing hair, now y'all can't touch me with a long handle spoon, you know, because now you can't tell me nothing. And all of y'all who used to hurt me, I'm going to show you. And it was through that sense of my financial independence, being on my own, that was a false sense of confidence. That was not true. That was a cockiness and a haughtiness that God struck my behind down.
Were you safe in that place? Was that
safe?
It
was safe. It was survival. So in order to go to thriving, and you asking God, increase my territory,
right,
and make me better. Okay, now when you crying out, that's why I said being in the road with your car repossessed, I'm better. Oh right. Yeah. So you got to learn how to, when you're asking God for more, what does more look like? And can you handle the blessing? Because with the blessing comes the lesson. A bunch of lessons if you hard-headed.
Wow.
So, yeah. So that journey of that being cocky, confident, is because I was tired of being hurt and let down and rejected and, talked about and backbiting. I was used to that. So now it's like, but I want to be better. Mm-hmm. So now that confidence, I was always taught when you enter a room, own it. So, but before it was cocky. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, because I'm entering a room, I know you guys hate me already. So that was a mindset. That's a mindset. Mm-hmm. So instead, growing and learning, because I learned how to ask myself, what's the end result? Mm-hmm. What is the perception that you want for yourself? If somebody saw you, what do you want Kristi to look like? How do you want Kristi to be described? Because people are going to view you how you view yourself. So for me,
That's
it was,
good.
I didn't want to be a repellent to a man or a woman. Because now it's like, why am I being mean? I'm just angry. I'm upset.
Wow.
So it's like doing the work and realize, like, because my confidence came from being an athlete, but it was cocky. It was fake.
So now you're in your cockiness, and you know you call it the fake confidence, and you meet Jerry Owens.
Huh.
I want to know not every little step, but the transition of, okay, I know y'all met in college and then y'all were like not talking and then y'all met again, resurfaced again. What was was it traumatic going from Kristi to pastor's wife? What? Need some drink?
Wait, no. I was just like, ooh. Okay. It was very traumatic.
It was trauma?
Oh,
or was it just hard?
Trauma.
Okay.
To the point to where I was like, I don't want to do this. Because at first it was very exciting, because going from seeing him in school and then seeing him at revival, and the dude is prophesying, I was just like, oh my gosh, I could not believe it. But it was where I was in life and in my relationship with God that I needed exactly that. That message was for me. I'm telling you, it saved my spiritual life. I'm not kidding. And so for him to pursue me in that manner, because at first I thought, okay, I'm just going to be his friend, because obviously he's damaged goods. He's a preacher. I knew him from the past. God told him I was a safe place. Let me be safe, because I don't have time for this. You know, I'm that single person. I'm independent. All I have is a dog. You have kids. You have responsibility. You have a church. There's no way that this can't be, this ain't him, you know? So this was Ishmael, you know? But the way that I was pursued, it was like, wow, this is different. So that adjusting started coming, and then relocating. So it wasn't trauma with coming together with the kids and ministry. It was rough figuring out how to do that. But I really feel like my being independent and being on my own for so long, it was like, women as a whole, we can get into a role and make it do what it do. That's just how I feel about us. But mentally, it was, I left my life, my whole life, to now come and be in your world. And your world consists of everything and everybody that you know. And it's, for me, I'm speaking Spanglish.
So what did you, because you were still discovering you.
But the crazy thing is, I thought I was like, I'm good.
At that time, you thought you
I'm
was
37. I've been on this self journey and I'm good, you know, and I can help you, friends. But I wasn't married.
Wow.
I was helped where I was. I was helping debutantes, little boys on the football field. I was the teen mom that had no kids. I can help you like that. But this marriage thing, ooh, Jesus.
It wasn't.
So, Pastor Kristi, all the guys that you dated before, were they the Biggie Smalls type, or?
No. The crazy part, I love that you asked that question.
Oh
my
gosh.
gosh.
Let me ask that again, because my audience member here.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so she just because I hear you. So the Biggie Smalls type that we spoke about earlier, I'm sorry for that. I needed to know.
It just wasn't a type. It was a him.
Okay.
Because like when you talk about, okay, so the question is, did I always like the Biggie Smalls type? I don't have a type.
You never had a type?
No.
Never?
No. Because if you think about it, if I'm growing up and I'm in private school, I got kissed in the library by somebody of a different hue. Oh my gosh.
Anglo-Saxon.
Right. So, and that was normal for me to go around, you know. So there wasn't I dated people of all ethnicities.
So you really didn't have a type because of the two worlds.
I didn't. It was just because
Biggie was just,
and it wasn't because I'm not a fan. I'm not a what are those people who when you like people? Groupie. I'm not groupie-ish. I did really meet him. I saw him.
You met Biggie?
Oh yeah, but it wasn't like, hey, it was, we were around in the same vicinity and we know some people. Wow. So I was like how they say now he's the vibe. Like I loved his confidence of being big, black, and ugly as ever. What? When you can say that about yourself, but you know that you clean, you know that you fly, and y'all coming to see me, come on. When you can be like that, come on.
So that was just attractive to
I
you.
love confidence.
Wow.
That's what I learned. It was the confidence.
Wow. So when you got with the luxurious Jerry Owens and y'all getting married, and I can imagine it was scary for you because you most women, when they get married, okay, I got to be a wife or a mother. You had to step into, both. You had to come into a church that was already established, that previously he was already married. Did you feel like you had to, not compare, but did you feel like you had to fill a role that was already in the beginning? Never?
No, I don't know how to do that. Like, I've never been one to look at or say, do I need to be like whoever or her? I don't know. I never fit it in. So me coming in, it was just like, where does Kristi start? I knew that somebody else had been there. I knew that they were used to something different, but my goal was not to come in and try to distract them from what they were used to. I just wanted to just come in and be who I needed to be. And one thing about it is my husband really set the standard, because it was like, this is my wife. It was a year before we even got married that I was even allocated into the ministry. So they saw me and I grew in that. I gave them time to adjust to me as well. I knew that. Same with the kids. I didn't come in saying, I'm y'all mama. Nothing like that. I am going to be, and I told them, I am who you need me to be. You just not going to call me no Miss Kristi. It's not going to work. I'm too personable for that. So they came up with Steppy. And Steppy lasted probably 7 months. And one day, Jara just came home from school and was like, Mom. Wow. And I could tell, like, it was different, because I'm like, did she just say that? And I, because I don't think that I ever thought that I would hear that. So to hear it, it was like so natural, but so foreign at the same time.
Yeah.
But it became like, it is what it is.
How old were they? She asked my audience.
My kids were 11 and 13
when we
got married.
Oh,
they were 10 and 12, and then 11 and 13 when we got married.
So you always say you don't give it. Now, you're not the typical, and I hate to put a character around the First Lady. I grew up with the First Lady. My grandmother was, man, I watched her. So when it's like watching you and then watching her, it's so different.
Okay.
So when I met you, I'm like, she's not to put types on. I'm like, she's not a typical, but it wasn't a bad thing, because my grandmother, she was married for 50 years to my grandfather. He was being a man and doing what he wanted to do, and didn't let her use her voice. And they even matched like every Sunday, old school.
Oh, wow.
She lived through him. She lived for him. She didn't be in her purpose. So when I saw you, I'm like, this woman is really like, and you always say, I don't give myself to everybody. But what I learned, from what I've learned, my grandmother believes in giving herself and spreading herself thin. Because just to say, I'm the First Lady and I have to be here. And even people she didn't particularly like or know who slept with her husband, she was,
Yeah, I'm not
and
into
they made that
kind of long suffering. I'm not into that's long suffering that I didn't sign up for, because being true to thine own self, I cannot be to others what I cannot be for myself. And if I spread myself thin for everybody else, then what do I have for me, my husband, and for my children? And so I learned, I mean, from the beginning, I had a good village. You know, my grandmother, my aunts, my mom. I saw that. My mom, my sister from marriage is my sister. Like, that's my mom's second child. So there's no step, there's nothing. So I saw that example throughout my grandparents. There was no steps with them, but they took everybody children, you know. So that was normal for me, that I didn't have to be their blood to be a mother figure. I just didn't know that they would embrace me the way that they did. And that gave me confidence. See, there are things that when God puts things before you, it's how you embrace it. That I can look and say, I'm not going to be taking care of other people's kids, and I don't have time for that, and she needed to, nothing. I would never do that. So when you embrace that, again, people will see you how you see and present yourself. So, and the kids saw that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you be your true authentic self as a mother and a wife and a first lady? What does that look like in relationships now?
I'm Kristi all the way around. Like, Kristi doesn't change for Jer Bear. Kristi doesn't change for Apostle. Kristi doesn't change for PC. Kristi doesn't change for her kids. Kristi doesn't change for here.
Congregation.
It doesn't matter, because if I am trying to be all these people, I'm not every woman. And I'm okay with that. Because the problem is that so many people, regardless of what title that their husband possesses, I knew that I could not live up to a box. You know, I can't. I will scream. I'm claustrophobic. Think about that. So I can be claustrophobic with people's expectations. So you cannot start something that I'm not willing to finish. So being true to Kristi is letting people see it's okay. People may not like it, but they'll respect it, because it's how you present yourself. Wow. I can disagree with you. I can slice and dice you right here and give you a kiss. And let's go have dinner. What is the end result that I want Kristi to be presented? Because if my ways are pleasing to God, then he'll make all of everybody else who got something to say speak well of me.
Wow.
Confidence. Builder.
That helped me.
Yeah.
I was finna snap. Is that, I want to talk about MAP though. MAP, I was a T8.
Good.
MAP was, I think our class was intense though. I don't know, it was something special about us. It was the last class we happened during the pandemic. I still have my rock and my brick.
Really?
I still have it. I don't let it go.
You should.
What was I know the vision, but what made you start MAP, the mentoring program? What was
I literally was pregnant. My husband did not know. The third miscarriage. So baby Jesus turns around in the middle of a Wednesday service and touches my stomach and says, "You're in your third trimester." Like, I didn't even know I was pregnant. Do you understand that? He then prophesies and says that this is your third trimester. But that was spiritual. Right then when he said, MAP, own it, he was in the book, Own It, and it was almost happening at the same time. So it was like MAP, the miscarriage, birthed in MAP. Wow. Because he prophesied, like, this is what you're supposed to do. And it was the first class that developed the acronym MAP. Because we were just getting together to talk about Own It, the book. It was never, we weren't talking about no MAP, yes. But Own It was so profound about accountability that just pushed me to, let's talk about this. Wow. And that's how the first MAP class, we didn't even have a time limit. Wow. I think we did it for like 3 or 4 months. Like, y'all, we have to end this. So that's where it became like T's, Treasures. They came up with the whole first class. Wow. So yeah, it just created itself.
So you are actually pregnant, going through a miscarriage.
Physically.
But he prophesied a
it was spiritual
and
because
he didn't even know.
I didn't even know that I was pregnant. Only to go home and miscarry. I'm telling you, and that's why I say a lot of people will look and think, this red bald head dude. Everybody don't come to church for Jesus. I get that. I understand. I'm okay with that.
It's true.
Yeah, but I trust God. And if I had to be with somebody that I don't trust, what's the purpose of being with him? But when I say that, it's like knowing who you are and what you bring to the table. It's like I knew he had it in him, what I needed from him. Wow. And so I had to trust that. And it was scary at first. It was very scary. Knowing, because we aren't called to buildings. No. We're called to leaders. So just as people of God are called to him, I am too. So I had to learn that my depth of what was coming out of me was being birthed through my spiritual father. Wow. Like I had to learn that paternity, that connection, it didn't have to be DNA, it was spiritual. And he helped me birth. He was my doula, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, in that season. I didn't know it. But
at that time.
Yeah. I have to give that to God and baby Jesus.
Well, I have to give you your credit because, Matt, it was hard. Because that's when I first...
Why was it hard?
Whew, Jesus. It was because it's not like... It was like therapy. It had nothing to do with church. Like, when we got a sermon...
I love it.
Yeah, when we got a sermon on Sunday, it was nothing like... When we came to MAP, we had to, like, breathe deep because we knew that you were going to trigger something, but you presented it like, okay, it's okay if I trigger this. Y'all signed up for this. You paid for this. You invested in this. You're paying for me to trigger you. So all of this stuff can come out.
That's
and we
awesome.
did the vision board and that mirror challenge. I will never, ever forget how you closed us off. I was thinking we were just going to say in the mirror, but you gave us a mic for everybody. And we were saying stuff. I forgive you for, and it wasn't like a force. It was I'm holding you accountable to come out of this hard place because you've been here too long.
Absolutely.
Because you didn't baby us.
I don't know how to.
You didn't baby us, and I was used to that kind of babying, being spoiled.
And that is where a lot of people, especially in the church culture and society, that like how you described someone, your grandmother, like spreading herself thin. I've seen that from afar, but I've seen the bitterness. I've seen the emotions that are behind the scenes with church people or leaders.
Yeah.
And I knew that was, sometimes it was kind of unrealistic. And I just think that it was just like, I needed to be Coach K. When Apostle gave me permission, because he's the one who said, this is Coach K. He was like, because Coach K is going to go places where Lady K and Pastor K won't be invited.
Wow.
So I was like, wow. And that's how I ended up going to school. Dr. Didi, my mentor, it was just, her testimony was mine. And I'm like saying, oh my gosh, everything was like parallel. And I don't believe in coincidences. I don't.
Wow. So how do you switch to so many hats and still be yourself? You get what I'm saying? Because you show up, and there's nothing wrong with like your Pastor K, your Coach K, your Kristi at home, your mommy, to your kids.
I'm confidently Kristi, being true to her own self in every facet of my life. So I don't switch hats. I just switch locations, bars.
I had to process that.
No, because I was like, is that kind of deep? That was like, but it's because I think that we have conditioned ourselves as women to feel like, I got to do this, and I got to run over here, and I got to be all of this, when let's just talk about this. I didn't get married to be a single mother. I didn't get married to be just a mom to say I'm going to the PTA and you're going to sit at home or you're at church. Like, no, we're a team. We're going to do this together. So learning how to allot and don't try to be superwoman. That's why I say I'm not every woman. I can tell you my strengths and weaknesses when I learned what teamwork was. That's why I have a team where I and my sister. I have a board with MAP. I had to learn because, there's
So
some things that you don't know.
You learned your capacity?
Absolutely. And I'm okay with that. I'm very limited in certain areas. So I need to have people who are better than me around me.
Wow.
And that doesn't intimidate me. That intrigues me. That excites me.
You.
Yes. I would love to tell people like my vision. I'm this type of person. If I say what I want you to be able to be like, oh, okay. And then try to make it happen. Like I know I'm a visionary, but I don't know how to do all that detail stuff. And I will drive myself bat crazy. And I already know that's my capacity. Wow. So somebody who can do that, help. And we're the best. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're still recording?
Yes.
How much we got?
We just hit 44 minutes.
So, you said a lot of bars, actually.
Okay.
Now, I want you to give practical, my platform is Jesus and Therapy.
Okay.
So, you're in school to be?
Therapist.
You're a psychology student. Me too.
Awesome.
My God, you're going to be an amazing therapist.
I can't wait.
You are going to be.
Wait.
Oh my God. Game changer. Millions. So.
I receive it.
Okay. What am I trying to ask? I want to give practical steps as to, because a lot of people ask, because it's in the beginning, it's not easy just saying, okay, just be yourself. Or
oh no, that is the hardest.
It's hard.
Like we have to put that on the table. That is the hardest thing to tell people to be themselves, because that's just like asking you what's your purpose and you've never even thought about purpose in life. That's what baby Jesus asked me when our first conversations, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like purpose, boy? Anybody, but that's what we shy away from, what we don't know.
Right.
And God will be ushering in what we need. But because we're not used to it, because it's unfamiliar, because it's different, but different right then is exactly what I needed. Yeah. So then it's like just being you got to know where you are. Like, where did you start?
So that's step one.
Where you come from. Yes. Like,
where am I at?
Who are you? Like, where did you come from? What did you deal with growing up? How did it affect you? Were there areas or situations and circumstances in your life that you absolutely remember? Remember in MAP when I said write yourself a letter to the age that you feel stuck. A lot of us are stuck. For me, it was my 13-year-old self. Like literally stuck, angry. Remember trying to take Tylenol, overdosing. What girl? Like, yes. Wanting to die for what? There's the spirit. So those are things that the enemy tries to destroy us when we're young and we're juveniles and we're not developed, and he knows that we'll just stay in that. We'll stay in that because this generation is 7 times stronger and strong. So I got her right here because she's trying to kill herself. She ain't gonna be I am my sister. She ain't gonna be no wife to baby Jesus. She's not going to make it. She's going to die. And so when you're there, and like, if God took me from there, then woo, because it's going to be another there, and then another there, and then another there, because this is a journey. Right. And that's what I need for this generation. When you say practical, be yourself, my journey isn't yours. My starting line was not yours. Our finish line is heaven.
It's heaven.
But don't try to run my race. Don't try to do my leg. Like when you have the sprinters, I watch that. Everybody is good at first, second, third. Know your lane. Know who you are.
Your lane.
Absolutely. I think so many people it's just like me being the first lady trying to sing. See? Why is that funny? See that? But I forgot the words too. Y'all always see that part. But it's because I get nervous. But it's just really just, really knowing who you are. Because I've heard people say, you sound like you can sing. So what I'm going to get up there and sing just because it, because it sounds like it, I'm supposed to be, or I'm trying to preach like, somebody, that's not who I am.
Wow.
So I had to learn that. Like I was getting invites, people inviting, I thought they would invite me, but it was because people who come, and I had to learn that because you're not going to take advantage of me or God's people. So that's why I love genuineness.
Wow.
I love authenticity. I don't care where somebody is. I love it. Like if you got one foot in the door and one foot on the banana peel, I still got you, versus somebody who is pretending to be and thinking they have to present that to me. I smell that 3 miles away. And that is what I avoid because I don't have all the answers. I don't want to present myself like I'm Superwoman. I'm not that first lady, and I'm not starting something that I can not gonna finish. And I've disappointed people before. So I had to learn for myself to I had to tell my husband, I just don't do what you do. I'm not that person. I am more of an authentic one-on-one. When we run into each other in the hall, I feel like once we do this, we're solid. It shouldn't be low. You don't like me, or what did I do to you? Girl, I just sat on your couch for 12 hours. And what, you have to learn, and that's the confidence. But I can't make people swallow that. But I'm not losing sleep either.
Yeah.
But with grace and love.
Well, that freed me because, all my life, I wanted to hoop and holler when preaching because, that's my family.
Right.
But your husband graciously told me that's not me.
Wow.
And this is me.
I love it. See, and that's
it's hard to let go of that, though.
But once you know you're it's okay that because we have all told ourselves narratives and stories. Like, I was going to be Biggie Smalls.
Or our parents did. Or
nobody
our family.
I was going to be with Biggie. Or other than that, I was going to be this. I'm telling you, it was like a cross between the girl who is not exposed to the hood, but she sneaks out and goes and hangs out, and she ends up with a thug guy and her family. Like, what are you doing?
What happened?
Like, but I love him. That type. But knowing that that when it comes to type, I guess now growing up is confidence. So no matter what color, tall, my husband is like a half an inch taller than me. And I used to wear 6-inch heels and he loved it.
He loved it.
Oh my gosh. And I was like, that is so much confidence with me because now he's embracing me for me.
Wow.
Yeah. Now that's a whole nother story, but oh God, that's a whole nother session. Yes.
So, okay. So you basically told everybody, single, married, whatever, you have to acknowledge where you are.
Absolutely.
And wherever it is, even if it's like really, really messy.
Yeah.
Like
messy if it smells. If it hurts. But be okay. Like I tell people oftentimes on this journey of discovery of self, it doesn't feel good. Like we start off, remember if you were a Girl Scout or Brown and we getting ready to go camping and everybody's excited, we done went shopping and we got all this stuff. That's how it is when we come to Christ or a relationship. For the first time, it's like, this is new. So, but when you start walking up that hike, that hill, the altitude, some nosebleeds, life starts lifing. Now, what do you do with, now it's a different location, but you're still on the same journey. You got to pace yourself because you're going to run into, in your life of discovery, you're going to have to deal with remembering what I was called out, a name that I was called, or how I felt in a moment, or something that triggered me and it's like, oh my God, like, I don't ever want to remember that. Right. But that's where you need to stay. Because when you stay there, that is when you're healing that little person inside of you.
When you stay there.
When you sit there. Not when I say stay there, sit in it. Okay. Because eventually she's going to be okay. Like, and it's okay, woman, Jacquilla, to let that baby alone because she's okay. And the more you nurture her pain, the more you nurture her rejection, the more you deal with that. Because if not, I tell single people the worst thing that you could do is bring that into a relationship, whether it be with children or a significant other, because marriage reveals you.
It magnifies it.
Oh, absolutely. It makes you see your dirty inner self because who do you hide from? Like when I got married, I thought I knew everything. Like, how dare you not listen to what I have to say? I have been successful and independent. And he was like, you do know you don't know all the answers. You don't know everything. Like,
how dare you?
I know you lying. You know, like, ain't nobody come see you, Otis, you know, but it's just like having to humble yourself and compromise. And if you have not dealt with yourself, you're definitely not going to know how to deal with somebody else. That brings their dysfunction and you bring yours. And now we have to be mature enough emotionally and physically to be able to go into and sift through our own dirt and say, ooh, this dirt, I can't bring this into the Owens house. This right here, I can't, because I know what this looked like. And I have to be able, I want to be with someone who I can be open and honest enough to say. I had to say to my husband, because he is petty and yellow,
my God,
and can get to you.
Ooh.
So, but the way he was raised, playing the dirty dozens and stuff, for me being emotionally and verbally abused, there's a thin line with that.
Yeah.
So it's not the fact that you can't play with me, just don't make me the butt of your jokes.
Right.
And not that people intend to do that, but I'm the only one who can teach you how to treat me. But we have to learn how to do that by explaining what's my why. Husband, when you say that, that makes me feel like I was that 12-year-old girl. And when I was her, I didn't feel good about myself.
Wow.
That made me feel afraid. Now, husband, I know that that's not what you're doing, but in that moment, I felt like that. Let me breathe. Let me sit in that. Can you help me with that? So when you learn you, then you can teach the people around you how to treat you. And then you will have compassion for me. You'll learn empathy. And then you'll say like, oh, Kristi, she do be acting funny, but I know her. It's not, don't personalize it. That's the only child in her. Girl, what's going on? I'm the type to where if you can't show up and the world is not going to end, I'm not going to be mad because you didn't show up for me. I show up for myself. So when you show up for yourself, who you think you need, you don't need.
Wow.
But then you learn that when they do come, that's a blessing.
If
they don't, it's a lesson. Like, God, what are you trying to, why did I think I needed all of that? Why did I think I needed him? Why did I think I needed them? Why did I do that to them? Why did I respond like that? Why did I react like that? Why did I pull back from that?
Wow.
Yeah.
So that it all centers
all of that.
in you.
All of you. Yeah. You can't. Well, how old are you going to be to where it's, but you did that to me? All of us have had something done to us, but it's what you do with that then says, that builds the evolution of who you are. You evolve or you get left in the dust.
All right.
Oh, I had to write that down. You either evolve or get
left in the dust.
Absolutely.
Bars.
Dust, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Bars.
So if not, then you're going to always, if you don't set the standard for yourself, who will? If you don't believe in yourself, who will? If you don't love yourself, who will? My husband, even though it's not, people think we have this, we don't have no perfect relationship. That's just my friend who I married, became my husband, who happens to be my apostle. Don't get it twisted, because there was a time, and he'll tell you that I loved my apostle, I hated my husband.
Wow.
Why? Because I did not, his dysfunction, mine coming in, we didn't know how to communicate that. and his trauma and me coming in, I'm like, I'm ready to start life. And he was like ready to just chill. So you got to know who you're connecting with and what phase and season they're in their life.
Even in friendship.
Through friendship, that's how you're going to find out. I just didn't know, again, go deeper. Like when someone says that this is what I'm going through, how did that affect you? What did that do? How is that making you right now? Where are you right now with that? Have you healed from that? Oh, ask them kind of questions. Because you'll know when somebody has a conversation, when somebody says, oh, I don't care about nothing. Or a man say, I can't stand my mama. Pay attention to that. Because you cannot, a man is not a project.
I know that's right. She said a man is not a project.
Absolutely not. Because then guess what? We'll always be trying to go. If somebody went to the dollar store and got a poster board, we'll think we have to go to Michael's. And now we're the best. I'm doing the best because I want an A on this project. And in the end, that project, you shouldn't have never put an entry in the science project when you know you don't know science.
Wow.
You should have been in the art program. So that's why now you're trying to put together a volcano that can't explode, but you over here should have been painting a mural. So that's the Jerry's versus the Biggies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jerry's versus
bars. Yes. If I would have been with Biggie, that was my pursuit in my flesh. In the spirit, God wanted me. It was prophesied I was going to marry a mighty man of God. I was engaged not once, twice.
Wow.
Yes, had to throw off. I remember my aunt called and she was like, you're my hero. And I was like, Auntie, why? Because my aunts are my heroes. And she's like, because for you to just, like, it was going to be a very big wedding. Very
Twice?
big. Yeah. Both, yeah. Like, yeah.
And
but,
you were willing to walk away?
Yeah. 6 months out on the second one that I just had to I lost deposits. I mean, but I gained me. So when I was able to, once you're able to be true to yourself in a situation one time, you'll continue doing that. And that's where that confidence comes behind closed doors privately, that I'm no longer privately pitiful. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I said I was going to do it. Okay, I need to sit with you, man, that I said I was going to marry you. I'm not going to be any good. I'm going to be the runaway bride. And our friendship is more important. I know it's going to hurt. It's embarrassing. Family, backlash. It's all good. And to this day, we're cool.
Wow.
Yeah, people, they may not like it, but they'll respect it.
They'll respect it.
Yeah, yeah. Because when you know what you want, that's what I mean about not settling. People would have thought, oh, well, you're going to have this. Yeah, I was going to sell my soul to the devil. So you want to be this person. I could not have been with a Biggie. I ain't no Faith. I'm Kristi Owens, you know. Right. So once I learned, it's learning your worth. It's learning your worth.
Well, I thank you for coming to my mention. I appreciate it.
I love it.
To my audience members, thank you.
I love it.
You said a lot. But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. This was so nice. And you know I love you. And that's why I said even from this and coming from where you come, there's a lot of times that I'm not apprehensive. I sit back, especially when it comes to women. And this will make sense for a lot of people. I don't jump in because I don't want to play a role. I want to be Kristi in people's lives. So that's why it's like now, even though the reverence, I love that, I'm Kristi. I'm going to always stay in a place of who I'm supposed to be. I'm not always accessible, but I'm always available. So there's a difference with when I'm in your mansion, that means you're in my heart. Don't forget that. And that's earning. You make people earn a space and place in your life. And that's not me being, I have to protect. The Bible says guard your heart. So it's not like I look for hurt from people, but I don't rush to be, especially when I know what we're healing from. So it's best. I'm okay when some people like, well, I don't think she liked me. Or it's okay, God, you'll figure that out. Because I love you. but God loves you more.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do
Nothing you can do
Others
about
say.
it. Nothing. I love it.
All right, y'all. I'm finna go. I see y'all.
Why you saying it like this?
I'm real vulnerable right now.
Wait, that's why I said. But the craziest part is that's why I don't. That's why for real, I am like this all the time. So this is purpose for me, and this is why when I say I don't give me to everybody, because everybody can't handle. So I'll know which doors to go into in different levels. Everybody can't go to the penthouse conversation with me. Some people are gonna stay in the mailroom because they haven't grown.
Right.
So you have to look at yourself as I'm Trump Tower, this Kristi Tower. So you earn access to. And that's how I feel like all of us, no matter what gender, but especially women,
Wow.
make people earn you.
Wow.
Know your worth and
Yes,
add
ma'am.
tax.
Oh, know your worth and add tax.
Absolutely.
And
And don't settle.
Don't settle.
When you don't settle, it that's the confidence that when you realize, like, I deserve this. You know, my husband was like, I deserve this. I deserve this.
Yes.
And I ain't finna say like, oh, like I don't tax him. I don't make him. I want my husband to go to sleep at night. I can take care of myself. But when it comes down to how you're gonna treat me, how I desire to be loved by my husband, that you want me to follow, and you're the lead. Oh, I'm gonna stay on your neck. I have expectations. So if you don't know how to push gently or how Holy Spirit leads you, you'll be looking at like that rabbit sitting there waiting for him, you know,
Right.
when it's the turtle that's gonna win the race.
Right.
So I would rather pace myself like that. I'm not trying to win for everybody else.
Wow.
I'm trying to win for Kristi.
You're in your own race.
Absolutely. I'm my own competition.
I know that's.
Hit 'em, glow.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I love y'all.
Love y'all.
Thank you for coming. And we're going to end. And yeah, next week. Bye.
Love it. Love it.